Hi there, I'm John Ziegler,
And I'm Daniel Hogan.
and today we're going to be presenting about our work on the Long Jump Chinese Checkers online capstone project. For our project, we were working with Ray Vancouvering and his website lastmarble.com. Ray is the longest standing capstone sponsor for SOU, with previous teams working on games like Fox and Geese and Fast Track. Over the course of those 7 years as a sponsor, a lot of teams have done a lot of work on these games, but for us specifically, we were working on Long Jump Chinese Checkers. When we started on Long Jump Chinese Checkers, the game only had a local mode play, which means that if multiple people wanted to play at the same time, you all had to be around the same computer. So that works well if everybody lives in the valley, but it's a little more difficult if your family's more spread out.
The main goal for Daniel and I during this project was to bring online play to Long Jump Chinese Checkers so that players could play from anywhere around the world.
The special part about Long Jump Chinese Checkers on lastmarble.com is the additional game modes and turn orders. First, here are the 4 game modes we currently have. Classic, which is a standard game in which all players attempt to get to the opposite side of the board's home position. Going Home, which instead of starting in a home position, all players start mixed up in the middle of the board, and their objective is to get back to their home position. In Grab and Go, players are able to elect marbles to be swapped with players next to them. When they pass these marbles to the next player, this creates patterns on the board. The goal of this game mode is to recreate the pattern on the opposite side of the board's home position. Lastly, we have the Swamp, which is very similar to the classic game. However, the obstacles in the middle of the board are not able to be jumped over, so this forces players to move around the outside of the board and leads to more creative moves. Also for Long Jump Chinese Checkers, you're able to pick any of the 3 available turn orders. To start with, the classic turn order follows a clockwise pattern, usually starting with the blue player, then the pink player, and so on. If you have fewer than 6 players, the first player to go will still follow this clockwise pattern. Then, we have Who's First, which means that after shuffling and determining who will start the round, the order of players will continue in that clockwise order as before. However, when it gets back to the first player from the previous round, the colors are shuffled again and a new player is selected to start. At the bottom left of the screen, you'll see an example of Who's First. So to start with, the aqua player is starting the round, and then it goes the green player and blue, following that clockwise pattern. But then after the blue player takes their turn, the round is shuffled, and the green player is going to go first for the next round. Lastly, for a truly chaotic game, we have Who's Next, which randomizes the starting player and the order of the turns as they go through the round, not following the clockwise order. The example of this in the bottom right, we can see that it goes aqua, blue, and then green, which doesn't follow the clockwise pattern. And then after the green player goes, the turns are shuffled, and the blue player is starting the round. And then it goes blue, aqua, green. So with that in mind, here are all the features we were able to implement into Long Jump Chinese Checkers Online. To start with, we have account management, which allows users to register their own accounts, log in to play in a game room, and if they ever so needed, delete their accounts when they are through. We also digitized and made available the instruction booklet so that players are able to read on how each game mode and turn order works at a more detailed level. For our online play, we needed to be able to create online rooms for users to join and set settings for the game they wanted to play. These rooms let you choose a name, select a game mode, a turn order, and select a few settings about AI that we'll talk about here in a little bit. After the room is set up, players are able to join from anywhere around the world. Once you join a room and get into a game, as you select a marble to move, you'll see the available move feature. With this, when you select a marble, you'll see yellow spots that tell you which moves you can and can't make with a selected marble. And as you make jumps, white spots will be left behind to show the path that you've taken. For players who are new to Long Jump Chinese Checkers, it can be hard to know exactly whose turn it is or how a turn order is going to look like. Because of this, we've added a turn order indicator to show whose turn it currently is at the bottom of the screen, and what the order of players is going to look like. In addition, it'll also show who the current turn belongs to with a slightly larger marble. If the power happens to go out, that's no worry, because we've also introduced the ability to rejoin a game in progress from the My Games tab on the main website, letting you rejoin a game if any disconnections happen while you were playing. To do this, you'll click on the My Games tab, you'll find the name of the room you want to join, and you'll put it in and go ahead and join. We've also introduced an AI takeover, which happens when a player takes too long to take their turn. This is a setting in the game room creation spot You can set a timeout between 1 minute and 10 minutes for those times when maybe a package is being delivered or you have to get up from your computer. The game won't stop just because you have to get up. After that amount of time, the AI kicks in and actually makes the move for you. And then when you get back to your computer, you can pick up right where you left off and take re-control of your color. The last feature is the displaying a game winner. So when a player has reached the opposite side of the board, or whatever their game win condition is, the game will pop up a winner screen and show the color of the winner, and also a link back to the main room creation page so that you can start playing another game. For some more advanced features, we have the joining a room feature, which, if we did not have, would be a very difficult to have online play. But this allows you to join rooms that you yourself didn't create, and also lets you see other publicly available rooms. By clicking Join Game on the main page, you'll be able to see a list of those rooms available. Next, Long Jump Chinese Checkers allows you to place obstacles when you're in the setup phase, so after all the players have joined but before the game has started. These obstacles allow you to jump over them, except for in game modes like the Swamp. And these different jumps allow you to have more of a customized experience with the board. So if Classic's not really doing it for you, but you're not ready to jump into a more advanced game mode, you can enable obstacles and see if that spice livens up the game a little bit. You can also choose more advanced game modes here, something a little more challenging than Classic, like Grab and Go, for example. And it's good that we're talking about Grab and Go because this also is helpful for the current turn colors. Because in Grab and Go you can control multiple colors at a single time, it can be difficult to remember which colors are yours or which colors your opponents might have. So at the top of the screen, it'll display the 2 colors available to the current player, so you can better understand what colors are in play. The last feature we focused on was playing with an AI player. Over the course of the last 7 years, a lot of teams have put a lot of work into the AI, but we definitely think this could be a point of improvement for future teams. It is working for Classic mode, but it still does have some issues in other game modes. So I know this looks like a lot of features and this can be confusing to follow, but this is to help prep you for our demonstration video that we're going to be playing right now. Hi there. To show off the first feature of the website, I'll be registering a new account and logging in to the main room creation page. To start with, I'll put my name in here, and we'll click register. And once we get logged in, we're on the main room creation page. So the next feature I'd like to show off is the profile information dropdown. So up here in the upper right, we can see our account name. If we click on it, we can see that we have some instructions for Long Jump Chinese Checkers, a logout button, and a delete account button. If you want to see more instructions about how to play Long Jump Chinese Checkers, you can click on the instructions and read through the manual. For this first game, I'll show off the room creation feature. At the top of the page, we can see some descriptions for each of the settings the room can have. So to start off with, I'm going to make a room here. We're going to call it Demo. We're going to select the Classic game type. We're going to select the Classic game order. Since it's just Daniel and I playing, we'll have just 2 players for now. We'll set the turn timeout to 1 minute. We're not going to be playing with AI today since it's just us 2. So we can go ahead and create the room. Now that Daniel has joined our game, we're brought into the game setup. We'll demonstrate some of the more advanced features of the setup later, but for now we'll just leave it as default. Once we select to begin the game, by selecting a marble in our home base, we can see the Move Availability feature. This shows which moves are available to our marble and where we can move to. So if we click, we can see the white space represents where we moved from, and the black space represents where we're moving to. There's a small sound to confirm the move we were making, and now when we confirm it again by clicking on the black marble, we hear a confirmation noise. Because we are in the Classic game order, the turns are always going to alternate between Daniel and I in the same order every time. At the bottom of the screen, we can see who the current turn belongs to, and whoever's turn it is will have a larger marble, so you can track whose turn it is. As you can see, play continues as normal, but let's go ahead and skip ahead to a more developed board state. Ideally, the game continues as each player takes their turn, but if a player accidentally has their browser disconnected, you can still rejoin and continue playing. So the next feature I'd like to show off is the rejoining a game. So if I head back to the main web page, and click on My Games up here, it shows the name of the room, and I can type that in, and once I rejoin, it shows the game right where I left off. Here, we can see the key movement in long jump Chinese checkers. The long jump means that so long as we have another valid jump after jumping a marble, we can continue to jump until no further jumps can be made. This allows you to jump across the board, provided you can keep jumping marbles. The next feature we will show off is the AI takeover. When a player takes too long, in our case over 1 minute to make a move, the AI will come in and make a move for us, allowing games to continue even if the player takes too long to make a move. When it becomes my turn again, I still have full control and can continue playing as normal. Now that it's back to my turn, we can see that I can continue playing as normal. For this game, the last feature we're showing off is the end of game winner screen, showing who the winning person is and their winning color. So as you can see here, Daniel's about to win. And we can see that it shows who won, and it allows us to go back to the main room creation page so we can play again. Next, we're going to have Daniel create a more advanced room to show off some additional features.
Alright, so for this next game, we're going to be showing off some of the more advanced features. So, I'm creating a room right now, and for the type, I'm going to be choosing grab and go, and I'm choosing who's next for the play order. This game room is going to have 6 players, and the wait time will be 1 minute.
So then I'll click on the Join Room button, and I'll enter the name of the room in here, and I'll click Join Room.
Alright, so now that 6 players have joined the game, I'm able to click the button, proceed to game setup. Alright, so the first advanced feature I'm going to be explaining is the use of obstacles. So, during the setup phase of a game, you can click a space in the center of the game board, and it will add an obstacle to that spot. You can have it set them symmetrically, or you can switch to asymmetrically, and just click on one single space. Alright, so for grab and go mode, the main feature of this game mode is that each player can swap a marble with the player to the left during the setup phase, and this allows each player to play with 2 different color marbles. So to set this up, I'm going to click a marble in the home position, and it's going to switch that marble with the player to the left for all 6 players. Alright, so now that the game setup is done, I'm going to click Begin Play, and you'll see that for each player, the 2 colors that they're able to move is displayed at the top. And for the turn order, I chose Who's Next, which means that on each round, the turn order is randomized. So as soon as every player takes their turn, the game order will be reshuffled again, and a new order will be determined for the next round. At the bottom of the screen, the players' marbles are displayed in the order that each player will play for that round. Now we'll watch until the end of the current round. After Amber takes her turn, the round will be over, and you'll see the new turn order displayed for the next round. As you can see, the pink and teal player is about to win a game of grab and go. You'll notice that the pattern of marbles in their target base has to match the pattern that they started out with in their home base during game setup. Alright, that was a rundown of all the major features available in Long Jump Chinese Checkers. Now that you've watched this demo, you should be ready to play a game. All you have to do is go to ljccol.lastmarble.com. Alright, now I'm going to be talking about some of the tools and technology that we used for this project. So the languages we used were HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for the front end, and we used Node.js for the back end. The database we used was MongoDB. The dependencies we used were Express.js. This was used to initialize the server process and set up all the endpoints for the API. Mongoose is a library that allows us to interact with the database in the code. Socket.io is a library we use to manage sockets for real-time communication between the clients. So when clients perform actions within the game, it can notify other players of their actions without needing to refresh the page. JWT is a library we used to create authentication tokens for when users log in. Bcrypt is what we used to encrypt passwords, so we weren't storing plain text passwords in the database. And Pug is a template engine that we used to render HTML on the server. The development environment that we used, so Ubuntu was the operating system that we both used. We used VS Code to edit the code. MongoDB Compass is a GUI application that we used to connect to the database. GitHub is a collaboration tool that we used. It's a website that hosts a repository for the code base. So when we make changes to the code on our own machine, we push the changes to our remote repository on GitHub, and it integrates all of our changes into one unified code base. And GitHub Project Board we use for tracking issues and bugs and features that need to be worked on, and just tracking our progress as we worked on this project. So this is a table of all of our testing for this project. Across the rows we have all 4 of the game modes available to play, and across each column are all the features available in each game mode. So the first 3 columns are the 3 turn orders that are available to play. These all are available in all 4 game modes. The next column is for human players with AI. So this is when one of the players in a game is completely controlled by AI. Unfortunately, we didn't have much time to work on this particular feature. It mostly works in the classic game mode, but other than that, this is the one area of the project that majorly needs more work. The next column is only human players, so if you play a game with just all human players, this works perfectly fine in all game modes. The next column is the rejoin function, so if you lose connection to the game for any reason, game state is tracked on the server in the database, so you can reconnect to the game at any point and pick up where you left off. And the AI takeover is the process of handing over normal human players' control to the AI if their timer runs out. So although the AI itself is still buggy, the process of handing over control to the AI when a user's turn runs out, this feature works fine in all 4 game modes. Alright, so for the division of labor, the major tasks that I focus on were redesigning the create and join pages and endpoints. So originally, when you would create a page, it would mostly store the data in memory, or it wouldn't track a lot of game state on the server. So I managed the database and adding game state to the database when a room is created. For the join pages endpoint, originally it would show all rooms in the database rather than just showing the rooms that are available to join. I added the rejoin functionality for the game. I added game state database tracking for game rooms. I added database cleanup, so if a room is inactive for a certain amount of time, it gets automatically deleted so that the database doesn't get clogged up with dead rooms. I added the instruction manual. I fixed errors in the grab and go game mode. So the game mode already existed when we started working on this project, but there was bugs that existed that prevented it from working properly, and I got those fixed. So now you can play the grab and go game mode. I added the ability to delete accounts. So when we first started working on this project, you could already make an account and log in, but you couldn't delete your account. And I added the UI display so that when you use one of the non-traditional turn orders, it will display the turn order for each round along the bottom and highlight the current players. So the tasks that John worked on was that he implemented who's first and who's next in the online version, and he fixed who's first and who's next in the local play. So originally, this feature only worked on one game mode, and he got it working in all the other game modes. He added the swamp game mode to online play, so this game mode didn't exist at all, and he added it. He added fixed errors in the going home game mode, so this game mode was already there, but it had numerous bugs that prevented it from working properly, and he got those fixed, so now you can play going home. He added instruction boxes to all the pages on the game. He added handling of the game ending. He added sound effects for confirming marble movements, and he performed code coverage analysis. All right, so in conclusion, our major contributions to this project were that we got online play working. Any user that's logged in can create a room. Any other user that's logged in can join that room from anywhere in the world, and any player can rejoin the game. So if you lose connection for any reason, the game state is tracked in the database. It's handled on the server, so a user can reconnect to an in-progress game at any point. We got all 4 game modes working in local play and online play. We added the ability to change and view turn orders in all game modes. You can hear movement paths as you make movements with the marbles. You can view instructions, and we made various improvements to the AI, although this is the major area that still needs a lot of work. So our suggestions for future teams are to mostly focus on AI as the major feature that still needs a lot of work, and also we suggest redesigning a lot of the code using object-oriented programming. This would help organize the code, make it easier to read, easier to maintain, and it would help finding and fixing bugs much easier. Thank you.